My name is Judah Ross. This is a book review and summary of Joby Warrick's Black Flags, The Rise of ISIS. So this book won the Pulitzer Prize in 2016. Many might ask, isn't that all that is needed to mention in any review? Now, in my experience, the answer is no, and I think many other readers would agree with me on that. With regards to Black Flags, I can say without any doubt that that prize is well deserved. Joby Warrick has been a long-time foreign affairs reporter and has been covering Iraq and Afghanistan since the beginning. Consequently, he was acutely aware of the rise of ISIS before much of the world had even heard the name. As Joby recounts, ISIS's origins go back to 2004 and a wild young Jordanian jihad named Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. Like much of the problems in the Middle East, Zarqawi's origins go further back than that. Born in Jordan, Zarqawi was a violent young criminal. As with many other Islamic terrorists, he got his first taste of jihad, going to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan alongside Osama bin Laden. Further echoing the common story, he truly found religion while being locked up in a Jordanian prison upon his return. After his release, Zarqawi spent some time running a training camp in Afghanistan and then started showing up in intelligence reports in the northern areas of Iraq. In fact, when Colin Powell went to the UN to make his case for the invasion of Iraq, Abu Musab played a central role. He was pitched as the link between bin Laden and Saddam, proof that Hussein was complicit in the terrorist attacks of al-Qaeda. He really came of age when the U.S. finally invaded Iraq. Realizing that the key to defeating American forces was to destabilize the country, he started killing Shiite civilians. This led to an ongoing clash between the Shiite majority and the formerly ruling Sunni minority, with U.S. forces desperately trying to keep order. Eventually, the U.S. caught up and killed him in 2006, and it seemed like his group, called al-Qaeda in Iraq, was all but dead. Things started to heat up again in the Arab Spring of 2011. What many Westerners hoped would be a democratic revolution quickly turned into civil war and Islamic insurgency across the Middle East. Most notably for us, the multi-sided war in Syria continued to spiral down into gruesome levels of violence. This left an opening for a relatively quiet group of militants who had been lying low in the north of Iraq. Now under the leadership of the cleric Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, they crossed the border into Syria and went about creating their lifelong dream, establishing an Islamic caliphate. Sweeping across Syria and then back into Iraq, they had an unbelievable level of success. At one point, they actually controlled a third of the territory in Iraq, including the cities of Mosul, Fallujah, and Ramadi. They had billions of dollars and were creating even more wealth through the oil fields that they had captured. Joby creates a gripping story that holds you from the first pages in a dank Jordanian prison cell through the sweeping campaigns following the Black Flags across the Iraqi deserts. Much of his work is based on first-person interviews, from the Mubarak intelligence officers who first interrogated Zarqawi to Nada Bakos, the female CIA officer who later tracked him down. Warrick has an incredible level of access and depth that few journalists can match. Like any great history, the author does a fantastic job tracing back events to understand how small incidents later became world-changing. He dives into the human element and lets you understand the suffering and distress of the untold number of victims. Perhaps most importantly, he helps you realize the point of view of many loving and hard-working Arab people who are too often painted with a broad brush.